we live in such a, I say it's great to live in this time of technology, but yeah, realistically, we do live in a horrible time. There's a lot of poverty. There's wars everywhere, and this just takes away. You can focus your energy and your mind into creating something beautiful, and that's a good thing.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Craft Podcast, where Michael and I interview experts of various fields to learn about their discipline and how they strive towards mastery. We love talking to people who are passionate enough to master something. And we've each been asking curious questions of these craftspeople our entire lives. But we want to share that with others. The interviews we hold are to the point, informative, and fun. You will love all of them. So please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you love our interviews. Let's get right into it. Michael, who's with us today?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Today we are joined by Amelia Player, an artist, AI researcher, and a tech enthusiast. With a background in motion graphics, graphic designs, 2D and 3D modeling, and also deep into the gaming industry, she co-founded Prompt Muse with her brother Alex. Prompt Muse is the teaching platform that bridges the gap between theoretical knowledge of AI and its practical through step-by-step tutorials, best practices for both beginners and experienced users in the AI industry. And latest news and opinions on this industry as well. So with the mission to democratize the AI education, Amelia is passionate about empowering individuals and organizations to harness the potential of AI through hands-on learning and experiential training. So Amelia is a master in her disciplines, and we are honored to have her on the show. Amelia, welcome to the Craft Podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me. And don't tell me ChatGPT wrote that.
No, that was all old school, handwritten.
So what inspired you to start exploring those, generative AI stuff, and also starting like Prompt Muse, and like what's the motivation behind it? Can you explain a little bit of that?
It was actually my brother, who isn't here because he's camera shy, but he does exist. Everybody, he writes a lot of the articles on the website, and we talk, about ChatGPT a lot as well, because that's his thing. And so I did a business before this, creating stock images for illustrations, and I started going down the digital route. So I'd create these images to sell and license, and my brother phoned me up and he said, "You need to look at this. This is going to destroy your business." No, we were just getting somewhere. I was like, "Don't do this." He said, "Look at this." It was Dall-E, something like that. It was one of the first versions, and it wasn't very good at all. It was like you could make sushi with arms or something, and I was like, my mind is blown. I couldn't actually apply it to anything. So I started looking at it, and I actually looked at it from the point of view, hold on, I could generate a lot of images here, and if I can get them into a consistent set, then I could sell these. But unfortunately, because of the terms and conditions were so murky with AI images, unfortunately, I could never work out a way to commercialize it, because I would never own those images to license them out, and it could come back. So I was just like, oh, well, that's really interesting. And then Midjourney came out, and I just had my finger on the pulse and trying to integrate it somewhere, either in the software business or in the art business. And I did what I always do. I just learn everything I can at that time. And my brother was as well. We were like really giddy, ringing each other up saying, "Oh, look what I found. This is amazing." So I said to him, "I've got this name. If we could put a website together, if you could do it for me, I think we could put some information out there and sort of become a central hub for information." you know, we didn't think it would go anywhere. We just thought, well, we'll just share our passions with people on Reddit and on Discord, and then have the website just to have all the knowledge and see where it goes as well, and have almost a history of where it started, and we could see the articles and how everything grew and sparked. We knew AI was going to be absolutely big, or machine learning as well. And so yeah, that's how it kind of happened. He actually does SEO. He's self-employed, so that's what I asked him to build me a website, and I was just like, you need to join. Need somebody to talk to about this. So you're the only person I can talk to about this, about them going glass-eyed. So that's why it happened. And the name Prompt Muse as well, I actually just went and I was looking for something, prompt something, and I went through all the trademark names, and Muse was free, and I was like, okay, well, we'll have that. And so that came about. It wasn't anything, unfortunately, there's no magical tale about the name or anything. So yeah, I had to just ensure that I could get the trademark, could get the website, and could get every single name under the sun, and that was the one that had them free. And it just worked out really well, and I was quite lucky with that. And it's just a side project that, you know, we wanted to share the information. And so I just put a few YouTube videos out of me using Midjourney, probably pretty badly. And people liked it because it was non-technical, and they could see that I was learning as well. And I tried to keep it quite a slow pace as well, because I've watched so many YouTube videos. I feel like I feel like sometimes YouTube is a bit like the Matrix. If you want to learn something, you can learn watching them. And I'm used to watching like 2-hour sort of YouTube videos back in the day of somebody creating something in 3D Studio Max and just going, oh, I wish I could see where their mouse is, or, you know, the certain elements. So I try and incorporate all those things that I wish I saw in those tutorial videos into mine. So zoom very close into a window rather than seeing it from afar, because I realise people are probably watching from their mobile as well. So there's just little nuances like that I try and help viewers with. I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm as, you know, sometimes it's a time thing, time constraint just to get a video out. And also just to make sure that the videos are not just advertisements for products, right? Because the channel started doing well, I got a lot of companies contacting me saying, would you be able to do this for money? And I was like, oh, that money would be so nice. But not in line with what we wanted the channel to be. We wanted it to be honest. So if something stopped working, if a computer stopped working, we'd show it. If you know, if we felt Stable Diffusion 2.1 wasn't very good, we're not going to show it. Not that, you know, Stable Diffusion open source, but, you know, they won't approach us. But companies that have these apps, there's so many apps that have AI, and they were like, well, we'll pay you money to show us on the channel. And it was just turning down those offers and just going, no, we've got to stick to showing what's new and how we can integrate that. So somebody could, you know, make a book for their kid, or be able to learn Stable Diffusion without being put off by it. But I also understand that I have those issues as well. When they run out of RAM, I run out of RAM as well. If Python, you know, PyTorch doesn't install, but that happens to me as well sometimes too. But it's understanding, it's, you know, breaking it down so it doesn't go over people's heads. And it's, yeah, that's essentially what it is. And me and my brother absolutely love it, and we love how quickly it's evolving. It keeps our attention, definitely keeps our attention, that how quickly it's coming on. The good sides of machine learning and AI, and the bad sides of it as well. So yeah, it's exciting. And I've had a few death threats as well along the way. Oh, man. But yeah. But yeah, they're easily traceable where the people live, so it's not, I'm not that worried. If they're local, I'm like, oh my God, they are going to come in. It's just like, okay. But yeah, that's what's interesting. It's like, I'm just showing as a user how to use the software. I am not OpenAI, I'm not Stable Diffusion, I'm not these people. I just, you know, showing the products. I'm not endorsing them either. So.
Yeah. That's very nice. So are there like any specific sources you follow or practices like you keep to, to keep you stay cutting edge and also be in the front of the, the whole AI development business is so fast. Its pace like of change is so fast. And how do you keep, stay ahead?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because a lot of the development that is happening is open source. So it's a lot of developers that are working independently. So it's trying to find their work. And that's via Twitter, through Reddit, through Discord. I am a member of so many communities at the moment. And I don't actually watch TV. I just like just on these communities watching what's going on and seeing anything new. And developers can sometimes be very humble about something they've created. And I'm like, what the heck have you created? That's amazing. I need to show that. And and they're always like, oh, no, it's just not very, I haven't finished it yet. I'm like, oh, but can I show that? Because that's going to change. Like some people, they can be able to create amazing things with what you've created. And so many of them are open to using essentially what they have created, their workflows. So I just reach out and email, and that's how I find these guys as well. So it takes a lot of looking, and I've spent a week trying to get something to work in Blender, and I was to show it on the YouTube channel, but I realized it was just to integrate it into a normal person's PC. It took a whole day to install. It took about 20, 30 gigabytes of RAM. And I just scrapped the whole thing in the end because I thought it's not there yet. The guy's, he's got something good, but it's just too slow for just a normal person with a normal computer who just wants to be able to create something quick. So there's a lot of this background work, and sometimes there can be a large gap between videos. And it is that sometimes I find something and I'm like, oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. But then when I actually get it working and like, it's not working as well as I thought it would, or it crashes too often as well. So there's a lot of research that goes on as well. So the channel isn't just, oh, look at this new AI software sort of thing, isn't this fantastic? It's sort of, I really get into the bones of how it works, and if anybody can run it on their computer, because I've got 4 gigabytes of VRAM on my PC, not a good PC, and it sounds like somebody said the other day that they could hear it in the background of the video because it's about to die. But I like to keep that because I like to think, well, this is probably what everybody else has got as well.
Right.
I can't afford a £2,000 computer, and nor can a lot of people. So I wanted to make videos that are suitable for the masses, not just the people who have got the money to buy powerful computers or rent good computers. And I do get a lot of comments when I run things on Google Colab, and they're like, why don't you just run it on a better, powerful PC? And I'm like, that's the whole point. It's because you can't access this through a PC like mine. So I try and make it for all, really.
Cool.
So I feel like there's I mean, that's I love hearing like the nuts and bolts of how the videos come together, because I've just, I've seen a bunch of the finished products, but like knowing, a bit about what goes on behind the scenes, just, it's kind of powerful to see how it all comes together. And it's just the beginning, right? You guys started, I think you said like 3 months ago, something like that.
It's just completely, so many people are interested in it. And I think it's because they can see that we're just honestly just trying to show workflows that work. And my brother does a lot of workflows with ChatGPT and Excel and Google Sheets as well that have really helped a lot of people. And we do get a lot of emails. And sorry if we haven't replied to your email, because our day goes very quick if we sit down and respond to all our emails. but there's a lot of people that then send in donations, which help massively, because they said this has helped them at work, this has helped them to get a job, this has helped them be able to do something, you know, write a book with their child and things like that. And that's really inspiring, and that really helps us to continue to try and develop new techniques and understand. We read every single comment, the good, the bad, the ugly, because we know what people want from this. So a lot of people want to tell a story. Everybody's got a story to tell, whether it's about their life or if it's a fiction. You know, they all want to tell a story, and I think AI will allow them to create a book. And it's not even for monetary purposes. A lot of the time, people just want to be creative, right? Not have to learn a 3D program or a package. They want to just be able to create a consistent image and write text to it. But from there, use it creatively, not just write ChatGPT, write me a story, and then create images from that. They want to put their own spin on it as well. So we're heading towards that very quickly for people. And we live in such a, you know, I say it's great to live in this time of technology, but yeah, realistically, we do live in a horrible time. In, you know, there's a lot of poverty. There's you know, wars everywhere, and this just takes away, you know, you can focus your energy and your mind into creating something beautiful, and you know, that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I mean, one of the things that, I mean, that definitely shows in the videos, and the videos are like well done, really understandable, even from the very beginning of Prompt Muse. But I'm sure like this, as us Americans say, wasn't your first rodeo. You in our research, we came across the creative mom. So you had done tutorials before. Like how did you become, how do you build up the skills of doing good tutorials? Because it's not just something that you know, it looks natural to a viewer, but I'm sure like that learning process you know, took a lot.
Yeah. So I think it was the last video I did, and I cut it out, and I only mentioned it in the comments that the video just looks like it's done in one smooth within an hour or something. And last video I did, I actually had a complete computer meltdown. It blue screened halfway through. No. And I thought I lost my whole hard drive, but I got it back. But there was a lot that went on behind the scenes in the video that gets cut out, obviously. And there's a lot of moments I go, do you know what? Nobody wants to see this. What are you doing? And you're going to bore the internet. Or worse than that, you're just going to get your view, that 10 refresh review, you know, views on your video. And that's another thing as well. It just feels like sometimes am I wasting my time and everybody else's time by producing this video? So there's a lot of, you know, self-talk, like you got to get on it, you got to get it out into making the video. So it's not as streamlined as it is. And you found the Creative Month video. Unfortunately, I had to like lock down so much because of the death threats. I was told by the police actually, because it got quite bad, that I had to lock down all my other social media platforms. And, you know, my face is out there now. But there are some crazy people on the internet, and I was aware going into this that, you know, that could be an issue. So if anybody of you tried to find some of that, they might not find much. I don't know. I probably didn't do a very good job at hiding anything. But I had to take everything down. But there might still be some videos out there, but I essentially was making videos on how to take the artwork that you could buy from my website and create it into mugs and bags. And that was my start with YouTube. And I was terrible. I probably still am terrible on YouTube, but you just fail your way to success. And I'm not at success at all, but I'm just failing my way there slowly. And I can't remember the saying, so forgive me, I'm going to say it wrong, but perfection is the enemy of done. So you want it to be perfect, but it never will be. And if you try to aim for perfection, you won't get there. So sometimes you just have to suck it up and just go, well, this is the best I can do. Tomorrow I'll do better. I feel like 3 weeks trying to work on the next video because things that I've scrapped or work processes I've gone, it's too complicated, or I've gone down a rabbit hole here, it's not working. And I just have to like either go with it and stick with it, or just like I have done, to scrap the whole thing and start again. Mm-hmm. And that's 3 weeks of work, that no one sees. Nobody sees the late nights trying to install or get things working, or I've got it working once and then I come to record and it's not working at all.
Right.
There's so much research that my brother and I do. It takes over our life, and like we're going to quite a lot of expos as well, machine learning expos as well, just to see what other people are doing. And you learn from other people all the time. And again, with the developers that I talk to, the amount I've learned from these guys is unreal. The amount of knowledge that they have in that section is crazy. It's inspiring as well, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and if I can bring it full circle, it sounds like the type of stuff that like this, the work that you're doing is probably helping, thousands or eventually like millions of Amelias who like don't like their school experience, but they can find content like this, and it'll help them get, skills so that they can create the kind of art that they're passionate about. Is that something that's like in the back of your mind? Because we didn't make that connection, but I feel like having spoken with you more now that like that seems like a really like a really heartfelt motivation to be creating this type of content.
Yeah, so there's no paywall at all. There's no patron. I don't expect people to give me money whatsoever. I have like a buy me a coffee fund, but like I don't want people to spend money they don't have. I want people to learn. And I was, there was times in my life where I just didn't have the finances to learn or the opportunity, but I used the resources that I had to try and get to where I wanted to be at the time. And YouTube was a big part of that. Being able to access YouTube and learn how to use a 3D software and package from people who know, I just was amazed. And this was before Patreon came around. This is before people started putting, to see the rest of the video, you need to sign up to this. And people need to make a living, and I understand that's why they do that. You can't just continuously do something for free. No one's subsidizing you. But I do feel like the reward will come somewhere. If you do something good and have the right intentions, something will come along. That's my whole life has been like, okay, something better, it will happen if I just consistent with it, and continue. And it feels right. Everything feels right about this. And I didn't mention, but when I was doing Creative Mum, and a big pivotal moment actually happened when I got COVID, and I got very sick, very sick. And in fact, I was in resus and nearly died. Wow. It was really bad. Yeah. They brought me back, and I just felt like I had another opportunity to do something. My immune system completely failed. I was a lot slimmer than I was now because I was put on special drinks because I became allergic to everything. And it's something a lot of people are dealing with now, and it's not in the media for multiple reasons. And I couldn't work during that period. I couldn't do anything. I lay there and just watch Netflix in bed because I was so ill. I was having allergic reactions to everything, every food, caffeine. I'm a caffeine junkie now. I'm back. I'm a lot better. I was going to allergy specialists, and they were like, it's your white blood cells have been affected by COVID. There's nothing we can do. You just have to take all these tablets to get through your day, which they were it was antihistamine tablets, so they knock you out. They absolutely knock you out. So I went from being like this to being bedbound for a long time, and I was like, I can't continue creative mum and do all this artwork and stuff as I was doing before, because I was so poorly. And that's why my brother was like, have you seen AI? Could you integrate that maybe? And, you know, that's when I was like, yes, that would be a great way to create artwork. So that's how it all came about. So I had this major blip, and that was last June. That wasn't long ago.
Wow.
And and I thought, and it's funny, life is like that, because I'm healthy, you know, I'm youngish, and I never thought COVID would affect me. Never in a million years. I was just like, oh, yeah, that's what older people get, or if you're ill, that's. And then when I got it, I got it bad. Yeah. I was very sick for a long time, but I'm healed now. I'm totally recovered. My immune system has come completely back.
Wow.
But it's made me think, God, life just can be taken just like that, or not even life, your health can be taken away straight away. So that's why I am just like so determined to push this and get the information out there while I'm living, or get something recorded out and about. And there's a lot of pressure with that, but I think if I hadn't got very ill with COVID, I would not be doing this. I'd still be plodding along with the creative mum. But yeah, getting sick like that really made me like go, well, what would make me happy? And sharing knowledge and experience, I really enjoy it. Or what knowledge and experience I do have, I really like. And I like learning as well. So yeah, just all of it summed up. But yeah, there's a lot there to take on, because a lot has happened in my life. It's been an interesting ride for sure. It really has. But I think hopefully that reflects back to viewers, is that, you know, it's not easy street. It's not at all. You just got to keep going. If you're going through hell, keep going. Essentially. But yeah, and AI, I just feel like AI and all this movement has really helped me get better as well, because it's given me something to focus on.
Right. Wow. What a powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Quite emotional, because it really did feel like it was the end. Wow.
Well, I mean, despite that struggle, like, it sounds like you're making the most of it. And that's like kind of the best kind of outcome you could hope for, not only recovering, but kind of having this new dimension of purpose in life.
Yeah, massively. I do feel like that really, a lot of people say that happens. And I was awake and I saw the tunnel vision come in, you know, saw it go black. And they had to put adrenaline into me to get me back. Man. And it's so vivid. But, you know, when you see that tunnel and everything go black, you think, you know, it makes you rethink your life and what you're doing. And I thought, well, actually, now I feel like I've got something to do, and I have a mission to help others create workflows with, and it sounds crazy, with AI. And that's why I feel so, you know, committed to it, because I feel like, yeah, there's a cause here. And I don't want to put any paywalls up. I don't do any of this for money, ever. So if I show something or promote something, it's because I think it's good and it works. So
that's amazing. And it's just the beginning. It's only been a couple months so far.
I know, it's crazy. And in those months, it feels like a lifetime almost. And me and my brother, we have no sort of forecast of where we're going, because everything is just headed in so many directions. I don't think you can forecast where you're going. But we are consulting businesses as now, which is insane. Like I said before, we're linking up developers who have created programs that could help studios and artists alike as well within their workflows, and cut out pain points and speed up creativity rather than get stuck with the laborious work. So none of it is cutting jobs. All of it is just, essentially streamlining the pipeline, and encouraging creativity, and not stopping it. It's not, nobody's typing anything in to create a 3D character. Not yet.
Right.
Anyway, it's the boring processes that nobody wants to do. It's trying to eliminate those, which is more cost effective to do.
Yeah. And I guess as a last thing, so how should folks follow your journey and learn more about what you're up to, what Prompt Muse is up to?
Well, I'm absolutely everywhere. On YouTube, it's at Prompt Muse. If you have a look on YouTube, I've got a Twitter, which is Prompt Muse. Even got a TikTok, but I feel like I shouldn't be on there. I don't belong on there whatsoever. I'm on Reddit as well at Prompt Muse. You'll see me posting a lot in the Stable Diffusion and AI models section and things. So if anybody needs to contact me, and I'm sorry if I'm really bad at replying at the moment, because sometimes I have to turn the emails off and get on with work. I do
got videos to get out.
Yeah, I got videos to get out, but I do love reading the messages people send me, and that keeps me going, and in totally inspired by their stories and why they're using AI. I was quite insular before all this. I'm not very social at all. I don't tend to like going around people, but I find online it's different. You actually, when somebody writes you an email, they write it through their heart, if that makes sense. And you don't have to look at somebody, or they don't have to pretend to be something else. Whereas I think, in a virtual environment, you are more open to who you really are, if that makes any sense. Right. And, 3D avatars all play into that. And, I don't like using the word metaverse, but I'm going to use it. But when the metaverse comes, I think people like me will socialize on there. It's not for everyone. And I know a lot of people dislike it and feel like it's actually not good for mankind. But there are people out there that actually is good for to talk to online. So right. I'm looking forward to that. And all this is flowing nicely into the metaverse. So avatar creation that I'm looking to get more into, looking at creating your own avatar in the metaverse, and creating clothes for it and stuff. That would be very cool. And that's where I think potentially all this is going. We've never created a successful metaverse yet that is enjoyable, but I think it will come one day. And all these 3D characters and all these creations, there will be a part to play in that environment at that time. So it's not just doing something for doing something. I think it will lead to there. And I don't know if your viewers understand or know of NVIDIA Omniverse. And if they have a look at that's all. NVIDIA are really pushing the Omniverse that's a pipeline of how to get characters to lip sync with your voice and get that all into the metaverse. I hate using the term metaverse, but I hate it so much. It's like using the word AI all the time when it's not actually AI, but pushing that into a virtual environment as well. But like I say, it's not for everybody, and some people just go, just go out, go outside. Right. But some people just don't like that. Yeah. So I grew up, with the old ICQ and MSN chats and stuff. That's my way of socialising. And it's probably a bad thing actually, but yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, okay. So, YouTube, Reddit, all these other places, and someday soon, metaverse, we'll find your metaverse avatar. Maybe you'll be doing tutorials in one of the, whichever metaverse actually becomes a mainstream thing. That maybe we have our round 2 interview in the metaverse when that comes.
I'll be a crypto queen then. Maybe. Yeah. I think like NFT and crypto, it's all early. It's all going to tie in. Everything's going to make sense one day. And we look at these things and say, oh, it's a bit scammy, or it doesn't make sense. Why do I want to buy an NFT when I could screenshot it? At the moment, maybe it doesn't make sense, but I think everything will align at some point to all work out to, be something good, hopefully. Maybe not now, but hopefully, I'm forever an optimist. But there will be negatives, of course. But yeah, definitely. As long as we keep learning how to stop it, if we need to stop it or unplug it, that's kind of thing.
Right.
And, I spoke to you before about, there are anti-AI artists or anti-AI people, and I get that, and I understand it's quite a scary thing to perceive, especially if you feel threatened by it. But I think burying our heads in the sand and ignoring it and not talking about it is worse, and I think that's the most dangerous part. I think learning it, how it works, and putting laws in place to stop people developing something that they shouldn't is essential. And we're now seeing in the art community lawsuits happen, rightly or wrongly. These lawsuits need to set a precedent for laws that are going to come in the future to control it. And so, although I understand people's concerns about AI, I think ignoring it and just banning it is not going to help. I think laws will help control, hopefully, it. But we spoke before this thing about, it only takes one person to be a bad apple in the lot to make something that shouldn't be there, or could potentially be dangerous. But you could say that about everything. It's here, and we've got to deal with it, and it's going to evolve quicker than we think it's going to evolve.
Yeah.
And technology is always a double-edged sword. I guess what we can do is try and understand it, help each other better understand it, and how to use it in hopefully the right ways.
Yeah.
So our guest today has been Amelia Player. Amelia, thanks for being part of the craft. And for all of you listening, watching, thanks so much for listening and watching to the craft. For more information about this episode and other episodes, you can search the Craft Podcast by Michael Du and Daniel Tedesco on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. See you next time, and until then, keep crafting.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.